Oh, is everybody awake now? Hi, Bob. Hi, Song. How are you both doing today? Yeah, I agree. It is a relative term. There are states of it too. Actually, I've had very little of real life creep today. And I just sat out in the morning. I watched the first episode of Hannah on Twitch Prime, and of course, I'm in a relative state of half awake too, because last night I stayed up really late listening to Tillers make a character sheet for my game. And yeah. I hear you. So you got anything you guys want me to do today? You got questions? You got articles? You got... How's my Tuesday? Well, Tuesday's not a bad day for me, so it's pretty good. I got up, I watched Young Turks. Well, the Damage Report on the Young Turks network. And then I watched an episode of Hannah, and then I did this. So it's not too bad. Okay, Bob. Feel free to lurk. Well, Hey, Rowan. Well, good that you can spend your break with me. Thank you. Yes, I did. Sable asked if I got the bug suits written up, and I did, yes. Oh, the bug suits are what they're using to fly around in space with, Esong. Alright, they're called bug suits because it sort of resembles a carapace. Right? So, and so they sort of look like man-looking bugs in them. Right, I heard a noise. Shit. Kahuna raided me. Hey Kahuna, how you doing? No, I never welcome a bard. Yeah, that was my favorite too. Natural 20? I think not. Because us old game masters got to stick together in this. If it ain't a TPK, it's just not a good game. Yeah, I might do some Star Krakens. Space Squid, I've already got stats for. They just go on a standard giant squid in the book. They just operate in space. Philadelphia by Night asks, how do you know when you're prepared enough to actually start your Vampire Chronicle? What criteria should I be using to measure how ready I am? Do you have players? Do you have characters made up? And do you have a... Well, you're not ready if you don't have players. That's just... Right? What you need is the basic... Hey, Tillers. The basic layout of their coterie and their particular... I can't remember what they're called. Babe, Camarilla... Sabat called them something entirely different, but Camarilla called them courts. You're going to want to know basically the idea of who the harpy is, who the whip is, who the sergeant at arms is, who the prince is, who the primogen are. Right? If you know that, you don't have to have stats for all these people. You just have to know what they are. You have to have a general idea what generation they are. Right? And you can just generally generic them, right? If you consider they're a Methuselah, if they're 5th generation, right? and they encounter them, that thing's going to be so tough it's just going to tear their bloody heads off. 8th generation vampires cannot fight a Methuselah. Right? Yeah. Yeah, what Sable said there. Then you are ready. If you got 40 NPCs with 2 or 3 paragraphs of backstory, you are way more than ready. Right? I doubt that your characters will learn half that. Right? I doubt that your character will learn half. Your players will learn half of those NPCs. And less than a paragraph about each one. Right? So, yeah, you're ready to do a chronicle. And the only thing you got to remember is, especially if you're that prepared, is be prepared to wing some stuff. Right? To just go, oh no, I didn't do that right. Tweak. Because if you don't, it's going to get static really fast. I like absolutely better. Yeah. Okay, afternoon, Dizzy. Songbird asks, you played a session last night and realized you forgot to mention some small details that would help my party out. Suggestions for mentioning them in a way that doesn't break immersion. Do you have an NPC traveling with them that's from the area that could have mentioned this stuff? Then just work it into roleplay, right? As they approach the area, they're always like, oh yeah, I forgot to say the locks on these doors might be trapped. Whatever, right? Before they do it, right? That reminds me, there's kobolds in there. Something like that, right? Because nobody can remember to mention everything, even NPCs, right? Even when you have it written down, right? Because it's not realistic, right? But if they're along for the ride, they can always remember stuff as they go. Yes, what Siobhan says, great way to spread disinformation too, because they might misremember stuff, right? Like, there were kobolds in these caves. Or was that goblins? Turns out it's troglodytes, right? Right? Like, yeah, right? Sow doubt in your players, right? Don't let them think that your NPCs are perfect. Right? Otherwise, they'll stop thinking for themselves and just wait for the NPC to tell them the answer. What the hell was that? Big loud noise. And my screen froze. Dizzy Backspin subscribed for a month at tier 1. Awesome, thank you, man. You saw me, that's funny. I wasn't startled. I was like, whoa, what's that? Thanks, Dizzy. I appreciate that you're enjoying it. If you got questions, feel free to ask. I've got 40 years of experience game mastering. So, how do you make your encounters feel more engaging? Okay, you like action movies? Then try and picture it like an action movie, right? You know, right? Let them do some heroic stuff for one thing, right? Describe that there's when they're in the bar, just don't say, okay, you're in a bar, right? If you have a battle map, show it and allow them to use their environment to aid them. Like if a fighter happens to be standing behind one of the tables in the tavern and he kicks the table at the Minotaur has a chance of tripping, something like that, right? Um, you know, and the fighter can, kick the table at him as part of his move action, right? As he approaches him with a battle axe, you know, and allow your players, if they kill the monster, this is something that I just discovered after my last fight in another stream, and I thought it was really interesting. When your player kills a monster or a NPC or a bad guy or a, you know, or they're murder hobos or whatever they're doing, when they kill something, let them describe the killing blow. Right? That will make them more engaged. And if you don't like action movies, right, the best way to be more engaging with your players is basically that. Let them be part of the action itself, right? Some types of action movies are better than others. The old Errol Flynn Robin Hood stuff, right? Where he swings from chandeliers and stuff like that and fights with a rapier and you know, there's no blood, there's no gore, there's no guts, right? Stuff like that is really tame and really quite good. You know, um, to get some inspiration for description. Description is the big thing, right? You got to describe the scene to them. You got to describe the action. You got to describe that the Minotaur is slathering at the mouth and snarling, and you know, um, and that his goblin lackeys are sycophantically hovering around his legs, right? You have to describe that, right? So, yeah, Captain Blood was a good Errol Flynn movie. Yeah, right. But the reason I recommend those old movies you saw is because there's no blood in them, right? And you know, right? Yeah, I understand that too. Right, I'd say that an action sequence has to move the plot forward, or else it's just action for the sake of action, and that's not cinema, right? Errol Flynn's Robin Hood duels were always with the Sheriff of Nottingham. They were always with Prince John. They were, you know, always important to the plot of the movie. Yeah, yeah, Indiana Jones. Yeah, I found them. The first one I liked. After that, they were all sort of, yeah, repeated the first one. Yeah, that's why I allowed it. I don't think anybody's ever going to say that again in chat, so. Not intentionally, anyways. I might say it as a typo for Indiana Jones. I don't feel bad for people from India. I feel bad for people who live in India. Being from India is great. It means you came over here. What's my opinion on red herrings? Ask Sable. Ask Siobhan. I throw them in all the time. Right? Oh, that meant nothing. You know? And sometimes the most innocuous things that I throw in there are really important too. For example, the characters made friends with a wood elven barkeep who is really important to the plot. Yeah, like Tiller says, a magical box, 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters, right? Just less than a foot, right? Two-thirds of a foot, so 8 inches. 8 inches by 8 inches by 8 inches, locked, nothing in it, magically. How do I use red herrings? Um, I just tend to. I just tend to. Um, it's hard to explain, right? Basically, throwing in a red herring, right, just involves some misdirection by one NPC or another, right? So, uh, oftentimes I play it that it's NPC misinformation. They, or not disinformation, but misinformation. They have the wrong information, right? And they'll tell you something and make it sound important. All right. And, yeah. You know, and if you make it sound important, the players might follow it. My players are greedy. They will all spring every trap I put down if there is something shiny on the other side. Any interesting trap suggestions? Sure. Anything that you can do with a glyph of warding is always good. All right. One of the particular things that I like with the glyph of warding is using it to do a blade barrier. All right. So when they trip the glyph of warding, it just throws a blade barrier up in their square. Yeah, that's a good one too. All right, water-filled hole is actually a gelatinous cube. One of my personal favorites is 10-foot room, 10 by 10 by 10, you know, right? Bag in the middle of the room, covered in gems, right? Players dump it out. It's actually a Type 4 bag of holding filled to the rim with water that they put gems on the top of to make it there. So once they pour it out, it fills the room with water. The Spinning Blades of Death. Yes, Rowan remembers that. Siobhan probably remembers it better. Yeah, mimics are great. You know what I like too? What are they called? Lurkers above and lurkers below. Yeah, Tillers is right about that too. Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider are good action loaded things and traps. So I picked up Face Rig. They had a special on it. Unfortunately, I don't know how to get it to work with this. So, for those of you who want to know, Face Rig is what Tillers uses to make the bunny icon. That did be fun. Tiller says we had a silly action thing happen in one campaign where we were crossing a mountain. A goat got our backpack and ran around. We had to catch it. It was fun. DM put on some silly circus music. Oh, Lottie Dufta 751 says your streams get better every time. Ask an old GM, game mastering, and tabletop RPG questions answered. Keep it up. I'm going to design a cool overlay for your stream. That's pretty cool, man. Thanks. Yeah, I never thought of that, Chillers, but that sounds like a great random encounter. Unfortunately, half my players are here, so I can't use it. So, but there are monkeys. They're in an area that has lots of monkeys. Well, not at the moment. They're in space at the moment, but on the planet that they're on, there's lots of monkeys. Yeah, I've also got like some ingenious traps that I came up with. Are things like on a trap door on the floor, the half a rune is written on the wall side of the floor side of the trapdoor, and half of the rune is written on the trapdoor side. So that as the trapdoor opens, the rune pieces come together, right, connecting the rune, and it explodes. Grimtooth traps, yep. Yep, I do remember it. Yeah, Pitbull of whipped cream. Yeah, it was like 30 years ago there. Tillers? Yeah, Tiller's an old guy too. Old school. Hey, you're a year older than me there. They're Tillers? Dizzy Backsman. My players want to start a new campaign and requested to do a nautical pirate theme. Any tips for DMing ship-to-ship encounters? Oh. What system? Dizzy? In 5e. My tips are the 5e vehicle combat rules are a little clunky. Right? Um, so I would say that when you're doing ship to ship battles, right? Get to the boarding phase quickly. Alright? Yeah, rules loose is good. Right? Do more description of the battle as the cannons roar at each other and parts of the ship are flying off and stuff like that. Right? Uh do more description of that and get them to the boarding area quickly. Right? Because then you've just got map boards. Okay, what happened, Sable? Uh, as a bot. Okay. Okay, great. Esong, thank you. Would you mind sending that to me too? If you want, you can email it or. Oh, okay, that's it there. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna save this. There we go. Awesome, thank you. Oh, that's Arcania. Okay. I think I'll save this too. Awesome. Thanks for those resources, Esong and Master Lorne. There's a link to the subreddit about 5 minutes. I guess it's top post from all sorted by all time. Right? Yeah, I hope that's helpful, Dizzy. Okay, you need to go for 2 minutes? I need to go get a pipe tool. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, I'm back. Yeah, it sort of was bio break there, DM stretch. Right, it was a break to look for my pipe tool. There's nobody home. Sable's off to her dentist appointment. All right, wish her luck, folks. Last time I went to a dentist, they ripped all my teeth out. Yeah, Stretch, I've been there, man. Okay, the players are pissed because you banned their cell phone use during games. What game are you playing? 5th edition, right? All right. No, 5th edition doesn't have any resources I know of that are phone based, because I believe that their master tools or whatever they called it is all web based. All right, and Stretch is right. Phones should be banned, so good on you. All right, ask Rowan and Siobhan what my view of being on your cell phone while we're gaming is. We're about to have a big chat with one of my players about being distracted during the game. Yeah, what they should get is an over it. Just caught Tiller's comment. Dentist at 11 p.m. What kind of illegal dentist business is this? Oh yeah, Siobhan knows all about that. What are you doing? Didn't answer? Okay. Character just stood there. Over it, get it at Walmart. Yeah, it's half price right now. Yeah, it's real light there with a round to it. You can get that there too. You can get over it and around to it. Yeah, exactly. Right? If they're browser accessing some useful D&D site, then give them a player's handbook. Because get off the phone. Yeah. Siobhan, I disagree with you. You got to get away from your book for every once in a while. Game. Yeah, I'm a big fan of paper free too, but I'm also a big fan of pay the fuck attention. Right? And I've seen way too many situations with players where they say, "Oh, my character sheet's on my phone," or you know, and then next thing you know, they're fucking texting their girlfriend. I find it really easy to punish distracted players. Yours is distracted. Your players. What is an old GM's go-to punishment? Um, my basic idea is let them do it in game. Oh, if your character sheet is online, right, and you honestly just use your phone for your character sheet, right, then there's no problem with that, right? I'm switching most of my character sheets to Foundry VTT as soon as I get it all figured out, right? And yeah, right. What I do is I just carry on the game. That's what I was doing that there, right? I have them do an in-game consequence for it. If I say, for example, using Siobhan, because she's the last one of my players to speak, said to her, Siobhan, what are you doing? Right? And she didn't say anything, I'd go with what was going on. Right? If the king had just asked her a question, well then her character just stood there and stared blankly at the king like a moron. Right? Yeah. Yep, Bob's got it. You turn it into penalties on perception, skill rolls, stuff like that, right? Diplomacy is a great one because think of how much it pisses you off when the person is distracted in your game. Now imagine if it was a diplomatic situation and the person was texting on their phone while the president of France is, yeah, trying to talk to them. Right? Oh, cool. Darth Vader is one of my players. Right? He plays Lurik, the gnome of misadventure. Yeah, Bob's got it right. Yeah, what are we doing? Right? Thief, you got to roll for caps? What are we doing? Screw you. You dirty shit. Right? Yeah. As you can tell, I have like no use for these kinds of players. Right? They really irritate me. One thing I'm good at is being irritated. Yeah, Darth Vader is going to help us dig into Foundry and help us figure it out. I guess I should put up the thing as soon as I get off my stream, Garth? I should put up the server after I get off the stream, eh? Welcome back, Stretch. No, I don't have the Rona. I smoke a lot of pot. No, when I'm irritated, it's not a safe game situation for anyone, not even the players. Yes, I medicate very heavily. Keeps me very straight. Level. So how do I think the chat reroll is going? I think it's great. Everybody in the game thinks it's great too, right? It's fun, right? And it's you know it's really taking off, right? I've heard others say that they're thinking of adopting it for their games. Oh, when we're gaming tillers, we have a thing for 100 channel point or for 1,000 channel points. You can force somebody to re-roll the last roll they just made, right? So whether it's good or bad, you can have the DM re-roll a enemy roll, or you can have the player re-roll a damage roll, or Yisong says she's so bummed that the RPG got to use the reroll on the natural 20 before she did. Yeah, it really is going to cut way down on 1s and 20s, that's for sure. Yep. And it's a really great rule that we have that you can't spend it on yourself, because people like Siobhan spend their entire day in our chats and stuff like that. And now Gareth and now Rowan, right? They'd have points coming out their yin yang that they could spend on themselves. Yeah. Like Siobhan says, 22.3 thousand points. You love the idea of sentient weapons. How would you implement such a thing? Well, I've had a few of them. I've even had sentient things like wand, a sentient wand named Wanda. Yeah, DM strategy. You guys got all these points. It's fun, right? Okay, in sentient weapons, how do I implement them? Well, first of all, sentient weapons are rarely quiet. Riot. Oh, Monday night, 6 p.m. our time, which is like 4 o'clock in the morning or something your time. No, it's not quite. It's 3 o'clock in the morning your time. So Tuesday a.m., 2 a.m., or 3 a.m. Tuesday morning. Oh, yes. Right? I think Rodney was smarter than most of the characters. He was our sentient rod of lordly might. Right? The thing about it, you really have to remember. Yes, I'm original, right? Ask someone else for names. Could I post a 5e Monster Sandbox here for you to review? Absolutely. I'm just getting into 5e, so I don't know a great deal about it, but I know enough. Do you use Fantasy Name Generator, eSong? Yep. Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of really stupid paladins, too. Yeah, that makes sense, eSong. eSong says she does use fantasynamegenerator.com, but she started to manipulate the names to have some common characteristics for her areas, and that makes sense because they're not going to be perfect. Right? They work really well for my game that I'm doing not online, my BattleTech game, because there is only humans, and they are all from Earth. Okay, Daz has world sheet. Okay, we're going to take a look at Daz's sheet. No, where the hell? There we go. Okay, Grr. Medium Elemental Beast Neutral. 17 armor class and 49 hit points, 7 hit dice. 3 dex bonus. Moves pretty quick. It's resistant to all types of regular damage, or is there more types than that in 5th edition? He's damage resistance to blunt, pierce, and slash. I was just asking there, Dazzlecat, is there other types of damage, or is he just gonna be shitful to fucking fight? Okay. Just basically, those are your basic melee things. Right. But not poison. They are friggin' immune. Okay. Also immune to to petrification. If they're immune to poison, it makes sense that they're immune to the poisoned condition. Advantage on perception within 30 feet. Okay. Speaks no language. Challenge 2. Recharge 5 to 6. I'm just sitting here considering doing some math in my head here. You're talking second level characters here, so when you consider the D8 is average for hit points, right? And the and 14 is average for constitutions. That's a statistic, right? Then you're looking at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hit points for your average character, right? 2d8 is going to really screw them up. And second level DC 13 is not the easiest thing to make. You make it on average, I would guess. Right? But you still stand about a 40% chance of failure. Right? So I would probably raise their challenge rating at a level if I were you, to be honest, because they get 2 attacks per round. Right? At a reasonably high attack bonus for that there, right? And they've got pretty good hit points. The other question that I would have to ask is how many of them appear at once? Yeah, I think DM Stretch is right. Yeah, about CR4. This thing is going to wipe out a second level party. Yeah, and fighting in packs, you can be guaranteed that they would wipe out a party of 4th level characters. Yeah, I'd say minimum 4, possibly 5 to 6. Yeah, DM Stretch is right. I put it about there. Yeah, and a pack would be a total party kill. They'd just wipe it out. How do I recharge my creativity? Well, I smoke a lot of pot. That is true. All right. And I'm a pretty creative guy by nature because I am mentally ill. So, okay. Yeah, when I talk to other people, I have ideas. I dream ideas, and you know, even snippets of things from my dreams I'll turn into game stuff. Like if I dreamed of an interesting house in a horror, in like a nightmare, right? That house will make an appearance in a game somewhere, right? Because I can recall it vividly from the nightmare. So yeah, the monster is great as look at. I like it. I might steal it, right? Um, but yes, definitely higher challenge rating. Siobhan says, "If you ever said you had a dream last night just before the game starts, we know it's time to run." Ron says, "God help us," when he says he had a dream. Yeah, my players know all about my dreams. That's cool, Gabby. I'm a psychopath. Right? I'm psychotic and a psychopath, but schizophrenic and a psychopath. Yeah. All right. So I'm just really well medicated. Yeah, challenge rating 5 seems more reasonable there, Dazzlecat. The biggest test would be test it out on your characters. If your characters are level 5, it should cost them 20% of their resources to take it out. That's 20% of their total combined hit points, 20% of their total combined spell levels, right? Everything like that. It should take them 20% of their stuff, right? And if it does take them about that, it's challenge rating 5 creature. Okay, Rowan, good to see you. See you later. And autistic and ADHD tend to go hand in hand, to be honest. Right? I raised a boy who's on the spectrum. Right? Rowan's son Taz. He played games with us. Right? He's got Asperger's, and he's got ADHD. Hey, no worries, Taz. Look at. Yeah, split wood by hand sucks. Yeah, anytime, Dazzle Cat, you want to put it out there. Something that I would like to see, and I don't see it much in fifth edition monsters, but if you're doing it on World Anvil, there's no reason why not. Is to put some more stuff in for the monster in there, like, for example, later, right? Um, right. Okay. A gur starts in an egg that lies dormant until the activating word is spoken. What that word is varies from egg to egg. How do they know what word that is? Is it written on the egg? Right? Or is it telepathically imbued upon its mother or something? Right? And yeah, I don't have any problem to post another one. Yeah, you might want to include an alpha or a spiritual leader of some kind for them. Yeah, that's there. But go ahead and post your other one if you don't want if you want to there. Large swarms of weak creatures. What is the party level?